Welcome to the Foul-Mouthed Raven, where we stare into the abyss, flip at the bird, and remind it that we're not going down without a fight. I'm Lindsay, your host, fellow cynic, and friendly neighborhood purveyor of fuck the dumb shit. Today, we're talking about the universe, not the stars and rainbows, but the cold, hard laws that govern reality. Laws that no amount of corruption, ego, or Supreme Court fuckery can overturn. Because while SCOTUS may have declared that Donald J. Trump is above the law, the universe gives exactly zero single fucks about their ruling. Physics doesn't take bribes, and gravity can't be intimidated. Now, disclaimer time, I'm not a scientist, never studied physics. I know some basics and I Googled the rest. As an autodidact, I teach myself only exactly what I need to know, exactly when I need to know it. And that's enough to be going on with, don't you think? So suspend your disbelief, put your feet up, have a beer or a toke or whatever blows your skirt up, and let's dive in. So, yeah, February 2025. Here we fucking go. Trump is back in the White House, and because you can't have felon without Elon, he's accompanied by his puppet master, President Musk. Musk brought along his goon squad of bags and his absolutely adorable nose-picking, shit-talking child shield named X. Now, I'm not sure if it's because no one's ever going to call Twitter X or if he's named after his father because Elon's baby mamas all call him X. Anyway, we've established that dear leader is above the law, but here's the thing. Nobody, not him, not his sycophants, not his stacked court, is above the laws. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, let's talk about why that should give you hope, even if everything else feels like it's going to shit. Let's start with Newton's first law of motion, the good old law of inertia. An object at rest stays at rest, and an object in motion stays in motion unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. What does that mean? It means that once a shitstorm like authoritarianism gets going, it's going to keep going. It builds momentum. It plows ahead towards fascism. Unless, and this is the key part, something pushes back. And folks, we are the unbalanced force. We're the resistance, and we don't have to stop the entire machine at once. We just have to shove it off course. And trust me, it doesn't take as much as you think to make the whole damn Nazi train veer off a cliff. Speaking of cliffs, Jimmy Cliff's law says the harder they come, the harder they fall. Next, Newton's second law. The bigger it is, the harder it is to move. Translation, Trump's whole autocratic circus is a bloated, saggy-ass mess, weighed down by incompetence, corruption, and a level of narcissism that can and will collapse under its own fucking density. The heavier the load, the harder it is to keep it moving, especially when we're pushing back, so keep pushing. They want you to think it's hopeless, but it's not. Apply enough force, and even the fat, lazy, tacky-ass, gold-plated Trump train can stop in its tracks. And then there's Newton's third law. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. This one's my fave because it's so fucking satisfying. Every time they tighten their grip, every time they pass some bullshit law or stack the courts or squash dissent, the universe demands a counter reaction. That's you. That's us. We are the equal and opposite force. They push, we push the fuck back. They act, we react. It's not just rebellion, it's physics, baby. Now, let's talk gravity. Good old reliable gravity. What goes up must come down. Empires down. Fascists down. Trump's bloated, unjustified ego. Oh, yeah, that shit's coming down too. Gravity doesn't care how high you climb, how many private jets you own. The higher you go, the harder you fall. And let me tell you, I'm going to pop some popcorn and watch that bitch fall when it happens, because it will happen. Gravity always fucking wins. Let's talk about Archimedes, the ancient genius who figured out that when you dunk something in the water pushes back with a force equal to the weight of whatever you just tossed in. Now, here's where it gets interesting. That pushback doesn't give a damn how pretty or shiny the object is. Gold, for example, might sparkle like a mofo, but it's heavy as fuck. And if you're carrying too much of it, too much greed, too much ego, too much weight, you don't float, you sink. Trump, his whole empire, his whole second fucking coming is one big, gaudy, gilded anchor, gold-plated everything weighed down by corruption, lies, and hubris. Sure, it might look impressive from a distance, but Archimedes is sitting back, fist bumping Newton like physics don't care about your branding. The heavier the load, the faster it drags you under. Grab your violins, rearrange the deck chairs, and remember with fond irony that moment when Trump played My Heart Will Go On at his rally. Now, here's one for the conservatives. The law of conservation of energy says you can't create or destroy energy, it just changes forms. Trump's entire career has been about siphoning anger and fear and burning it as fuel. But energy doesn't go up in smoke, it sticks around. The rage he stoked is now ricocheting back at him through lawsuits, infighting, and public exhaustion. His machine is overheating, grinding to a halt because even the universe keeps its receipts. What goes in must come out, and Trump's drowning in the mess he thought he could control. And now, entropy, the second law of thermodynamics. Entropy is the universe's way of saying, fuck your plans. It's the slow creep of chaos that dismantles everything over time. Authoritarianism is all about control, right? About pretending you could lock the world into place. But the universe says, nah, fuck that. Entropy is the chaos that slips through the cracks. Democracy can handle chaos. It thrives in it, adapts to it. Autocracy, too rigid, too brittle. And when entropy comes knocking, it shatters like the illusion of them cheaper eggs. Now, let's get weird with quantum mechanics. And I will not pretend I really understand this. I get the concept though, and I think you will too. At the subatomic level, particles exist in multiple states until they're observed. It's called wave particle duality. The moment you measure them, they choose a state. Autocracy thrives in the shadows and silence when no one's watching, but democracy is a fucking mag light. It's forcing the system to choose, and when enough of us are watching, when enough of us are paying attention, when enough of us care, the universe itself collapses the wave function in our favor. Fuck yeah, quantum mechanics. And finally, a bonus from the field of economics. Not exactly a law, but let's loan Trump a principle since he has none of his own. Diminishing returns. The more you dump resources into something, the less you get back over time. Picture a field. Add fertilizer, crops thrive. Keep going, and eventually you poison the soil. Trump's political strategy runs on fertilizer. Figuratively, though, let's be honest, he'd sell bags of branded bullshit if he thought he could make a buck. It worked in 2016 and again in 2024. He over fertilized the field of public discourse, and his shit eating base ate it up. But diminishing returns will begin kicking in. The lies, the scandals, the ham fisted racist fascist policies, the endless spectacle, they're piling up, but delivering less. The field is toxic, even as supporters are gagging. And in true Trump fashion, he just keeps doubling down and poisoning his own foundation. Of course, that doesn't mean that we get to sit back and watch the collapse. Diminishing returns might slow him down, but it won't stop him completely. And that's our job. Our job is to make sure the field he's been poisoning doesn't recover, to turn his over-fertilized mess into a barren wasteland, to salt the fucking earth so his brand of politics can't grow again. Because if we don't, someone else will come along with their giant stack of Trump brand bullshit ready to plant the next crop of fucking lies. So here's the deal. The universe has our back. Physics doesn't play favorite, but loves balance. Democracy is messy, chaotic, and unpredictable, and that's what makes it strong. Autocracy, it's brittle, fragile, and doomed to collapse. We are the unbalanced force. We are the counter reaction. We are the entropy and buoyancy and quantum fucking mechanics. And together, we're going to remind them that no one, not even a wannabe dictator, is above the laws of the fucking universe. So this has been the Foul-Mouthed Raven. I'm Lindsay, reminding you that the fight isn't over. It never will be. And if I can help it, so keep pushing, keep fighting, and chin up. Until next time, stay loud, stay defiant, and stay fucking awesome.